오늘 져서 바벨이 날려버릴 돈이 얼마인 줄 알아요? $760 million! 벌써 200kg를 넘어버렸네. 우리 저쪽으로 확정해볼까요? 어떻게 되나?
Hey guys, welcome back. Today I will be talking about the first 10 episodes of the K-drama Vincenzo. Now before we start, you guys know the drill. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the bell to be notified of my uploads, and check my links in the description box below. Now Vincenzo is an action black comedy K-drama starring Son Joong-ki, Ok Taecyeon, Jeon Yoo-bin, Kim Yoo-jin, Jo Han-chok, and Kwak Dong-young. So this drama tells the story of Vincenzo Cassano, played by Son Joong-ki, who is the consigliere of the Italian mafia. He was adopted by the mafia don ever since he was a child, and he became a part of the mafia family and the consigliere. And after the death of his father, he does a final dying wish of his father's, which is to destroy the don of another rival family. And he does all of this, and then he goes back to Korea. Now, a few things. Son Joong-ki speaking Italian, chef's kiss. Like the dedication Son Joong-ki had to learn Italian. Italian is not difficult, but it's not easy either. And he managed to perfect the language in a few months, which was amazing. Like, my rusty Italian is gonna get a hell of a workout with Signor Vincenzo Cassano. Now, the series starts with Vincenzo having kind of a showdown with the rival mafia don, and the don becomes an a-hole and he gets racist, and he tells him that basically, with your father dead now, you're nothing, your family is gone. So, in retaliation, Vincenzo burns down his whole palace, like the palace and the gardens, and the don watches as his whole kingdom burns to ashes. And in the meantime, Vincenzo is just walking out like the boss that he is, walking outside in the middle of the fire. Boss move. Then he goes to Korea, but not before burning the car of his adoptive brother, because said brother, his name was Paolo. He tried to be a don, tell Vincenzo that Vincenzo's now his man, he's gonna do whatever he wants and he's not gonna have any say in it. Like, he wanted to be an alpha male on Vincenzo. Vincenzo was like, no bitch, you're not my boss. And then he decides to burn his favorite car, and while he's on the plane on his way to Korea, he calls him and tells him that next time he tries something like this, he's gonna burn the car with him inside it. Like, boss move, I tell ya. Next up, Vincenzo arrives to Korea and is assigned a building to kick the tenants out of it. And at first, like, he's all for it, having no intention of intervening anymore than to do a job that he's assigned, especially since his first day in Korea, he was drugged by thugs pretending to be Uber drivers. They took his money, his suitcase, his watch, and they ruined his Italian tailored suit. That scene where Vincenzo wakes up and starts screaming, "I hate you, Korea, screw you, Korea," to the sky. Like, whenever he would scream profanities in Italian, like "che cazzo" and "vaffanculo." Seriously, Son Joong-ki, this role, he came back with a bang, and I am loving it so much. And especially, like, he's supposed to be the consigliere of the Italian mafia, but with a baby face like that and such charisma, no one would think that he's a cold-blooded killer, but we will get to that later. Like, cazzo and vaffanculo, it was pure gold. Anyway, Vincenzo gets to the building and kind of tries to infiltrate it, like try to gain the trust of the tenants and the pro bono law firm of the building, which is owned by lawyer Hong, and he tries to have the people living there moving out. And automatically, and with good reason, all of them are very suspicious of him, even the pro bono lawyer. And they try their best to kind of avoid him, kind of get rid of him, but it doesn't work. And he kind of gets on their good side when some thugs try to force the tenants out of the building, and he tells them who's the boss. Like, that scene, he didn't even break a sweat, and he threw the boss of the thugs on his ass. Like, when he was letting him hang dangling from 6 floors from the window, and when he said, "This building is mine, questo edificio è mio," charisma. That's all I can say about him. Charisma. After that, Vincenzo starts to have a soft spot for the tenants and lawyer Hong, especially after finding out that lawyer Hong has connections to his birth mother, who was wrongfully accused of killing her previous employer after he sexually assaulted her, and she's been imprisoned ever since. And she actually abandoned him when he was a child because she actually has cancer, and she thought that her time was nearing, adding to that the false allegations of murder against her, so she had no other option but to give him up. Lawyer Hong also has a rivalry with a famous pharmaceutical company called Babel, which works with shady dealings and manufactures illegal drugs and actually makes experiments on people in order to check if the drug is working or not. And that company has a law firm that does its dirty work called Wusang Law Firm, which ironically happens to have his daughter, lawyer Hong's daughter, as a partner in that company. It's a big mess. There's a back and forth fighting between the two companies, and it reaches a bloody impasse when lawyer Hong gets killed, and his reputation is tarnished as being an unethical and dirty lawyer. Like, they're trying to ruin his reputation, and this was the catalyst for Vincenzo to stay in Korea and fight for his cause. There's also speculation of gold being buried under that building, so that's a whole other separate plot point. Like, there's a lot in that show. Now let's get to the characters. First one is obviously Vincenzo Cassano, played by Son Joong-ki. His acting in that role is magical. Like, he came back with an A+ role. Like, he's doing such an amazing job presenting the mysterious, alluring, and charismatic, and frightening Vincenzo. Like, he's such an extremely intelligent anti-hero. And yes, he's an anti-hero because consigliere of the Italian mafia. We all know what the mafia do, and obviously he's gonna do a lot of shady stuff on the show in order to establish justice. So that's precisely what Vincenzo has been doing the past 10 episodes, and he's probably gonna keep doing even more the upcoming 10 episodes. One of the things I love about Vincenzo is the fact that Son Joong-ki was so determined to learn Italian. I mean, as someone who studied Italian years ago, Son Joong-ki sounds like a born and raised Italian. And don't get me started on his charisma. Like, he exudes such dominance whenever he enters a room. Like, you look at him in astonishment, in awe, or annoyance, because he always comes out on top. The next character is Hong Taeyong, and she is the daughter of lawyer Hong, and I have to admit that the first 3 to 4 episodes I did not like her at all. She got on my nerves a lot. Like, her character was way too over the top. Like, in the most serious situations she would crack a joke or try to be funny or hilarious. I don't know, maybe because I like emo characters or aloof ones. Her quirkiness was a nuisance for me. She was trying to be funny and quirky every single scene, and it was maddening. And then her father dies, and her quirkiness and humor goes down drastically. And girl, you had to have your father dying in order for you to turn it down a notch? Character development? Mayhaps. The later episodes after that, I was starting to warm up to her. She is not my most favorite character of the show, but I'm starting to like her. Anyway, her character has gotten a lot better since then, especially after she resigned from the Wusang company after the death of her father, since that company and Babel company are the ones responsible for his death, and she started to have guilt towards her father because they always butted heads because of her job in Wusang, and she was not as straight cut as her father was. But she makes up for it after he died, and she joins hands with Vincenzo in her father's law firm in order to bring down Babel and Wusang. Now let's get to my favorite villain, Chang Jong-woo, played by my 2 p.m. bias of Taecyeon. He plays the role of Chayoung's hubei, or junior, in Wusang law firm, and at first he's kind of the comedic relief in the company, like cracking jokes and being all funny with his curly bang, puppy eyes, and just all around cute demeanor and crazed sense of humor. He studied law at Stanford, and the way he would always integrate English sentences whenever he's talking to his Korean bosses, like, it was hilarious. Like, whenever he would be in a conversation with his superiors, he would always speak in English, every once in a while driving them nuts. He always stuck to Chayoung, always wanted to be by her side, and he most definitely has a thing for her. The first 3 episodes, he's like this cute, small, adorable little puppy, and then boom, episode 4 happens, and he transforms from a small pup to a vicious rabid wolf, and is exposed as being the big bad, the main villain. In my opinion, this is my most favorite role on the show, and by far Taecyeon's best role ever, because most of his roles, if not all of them, he's always the main hero who has a tragic past, and he's trying to overcome his obstacles and winning against the bad guy. This time, he is the bad guy. He's the baddest of the bad. Like, this role literally gave him the chance and opportunity to spread his wings and broaden his horizons in regards to acting. He's not just being like any normal villain. He actually enjoys inflicting pain and misery on people. Like, it's his joy in life. Like, it's so refreshing to see him play the bad guy. Like, y'all need to see it. He does one hell of a job. Completely mind-blowing watching him. Like, he's always cute protagonist, but this time he is cute, yes, but he's evil cute. He's a maniac. He's insane in this role, and I love him for it. Like, the savagery and insanity of his character, and especially that certain scene, that certain hockey stick scene in the warehouse. Like, bro, spoilers, he actually beat a person to death with a hockey stick, all the while laughing hysterically. If this is not a villain that you would be scared of through the screen, I don't know what is. Like, the level of madness and psychopathy established and shown from his character, it's insane. And the way he goes on tantrums whenever he doesn't get what he wants, like he's an evil child. And these tantrums result in the bloody death of people. Actually, this is my kind of villain. Like, I love these kinds of villains who are unpredictable, who are insane, who you feel tremendous fear just watching them through the screen. And Taecyeon, he's doing one hell of a job. Also, I love my villains to be gorgeous. I also like the fact that in one of the scenes he made one of his men travel to Italy and gather information against Vincenzo so that he would use it against him and try to eliminate him. His man came back with photos and such of when Vincenzo would kill for his mafia family, and it looks like he's going to use said evidence in order to like show it to the police and try to get rid of Vincenzo. Boy, he's gonna do whatever it takes to get rid of Vincenzo and just have the field all to himself. And I really cannot wait for the cat and mouse game that's gonna happen between the two characters. The next character is Jung Han-soo, and he is the younger brother of Jong-woo. He is the fake boss of Babel. Jong-woo calls him his marionette. He's instructed by his older brother to be at the front line of the company because he does not want to get in jail if anything goes wrong, and controlling everyone from behind the scenes makes him feel like a god, the one pulling the strings. What Jong-woo doesn't know though is that his little brother kind of has his own plan to get rid of him, and he's not as stupid as he thinks he is. Like, Han-soo knows that Jong-woo killed their father in order to take the company from him, and he knows that he has a thing for Chaeyoung, and I do believe that he's going to use that against his brother. Like, all these years of being used and abused by his older brother, like the first scene we see them together, he gets his ass beat by his brother and he almost dies. The abuse and the disrespect his brother keeps throwing at him made him extremely hateful and resentful towards him, and he's gonna do whatever it takes to get rid of him, and he's just gonna keep looking for weaknesses of his brothers until it helps him to get rid of him. And one of my theories is that he's going to join hands with Vincenzo and Chaeyoung in order to take Jong-woo down. Next up we have Choi Myung-hee, once a crooked prosecutor, now an even more crooked lawyer. She is a partner in Woosan Company, and she's mainly responsible for cleaning up after Babel and doing its dirty work. She has a grudge against Chaeyoung because Chaeyoung never bows down or bends to her will, and always goes head to head with her. And as much as I hated her at first, right now I kind of like her because she's an interesting character, hilarious, psychotic in her own way as well. Adding to it, all thanks to Chaeyoung, because the more Chaeyoung gets on her nerves, the more Myung-hee becomes hilariously unhinged. Also, she's as evil as Jong-woo because she likes the idea of being a god and controlling people behind the scenes. She has the same mentality of enjoying inflicting pain and death on innocent people. And lastly, Han Seong-hyuk, he is the boss of the Woosan law firm, and he's the jittery kind and always on the verge of a panic attack, especially after finding out that Jong-woo is the real boss of Babel, and most definitely, especially after that hockey scene, that hockey stick scene that I talked about earlier. earlier, yeah, the man, he's on the verge of a heart attack. Now these are all the main 6 characters, excluding the side. They deserve a video of their own. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!